Let's say you've committed a crime and are now facing charges. There's
Right.
a witness in the case, and you're sitting there thinking, if that person just wasn't around anymore, maybe this whole thing goes away. Maybe the case falls apart with them being gone. That's the logic the average criminal uses when they take a life during or after a crime. No
Right.
face, no case.
Right.
You could be facing 5 years in prison for a simple robbery, but if you took
Yeah.
out the witness, you'd be facing 0 years.
Right.
So long as no one ever catches you for it, because then you're facing life. Obviously, most times killing someone goes the other way. Sometimes
Exactly.
you kill the witness and it doesn't help you at all. It just
Right.
makes everything 10 times
Makes it worse.
And soon enough, you realize way too late that you just destroyed your own life for
3
absolutely
charged in retaliation murder, Detroit's East Side.
Weirdo.
nothing.
Damn.
Well, a carjacker from Detroit learned this lesson the hard way in the fall of 2018 when
Right.
he tried to get his theft case dropped, only to destroy
Theft case.
everything in the process.
That's crazy.
His business, his life, his friend's life, and even his relationship with his girl all gone over a poorly made decision that took less than a week to make.
Dumb motherfucker. So you killed a
Starkeisha
witness in a
Thompson was
carjack? Hold on, pause. Wait a minute.
Damn.
You killed he killed the witness in a carjacking case?
Stupid. 3 years old, living in Detroit with her teenage son. She worked, stayed out of trouble, and minded her business. But in
Right.
September 2018, she became a victim of something she had nothing to do with. It was September 7th at around 9 at night. Starkeisha and her boyfriend pulled into a BP gas station on North Harper Avenue in Harper Woods to get gas. They were in a nice 2018 Dodge Charger, but someone was eyeing their car. A guy walked up to the driver's side, pulled out a gun, and told them both to get out.
Oh, damn.
And he just got in the Charger and drove off with it. The guy's name was Kenneth Dixon. He was 26 years old from Warren,
So he
about
did a
20 minutes
carjacking.
north of Detroit. Harper
Right.
Woods police spotted the stolen Charger later that night cruising around on Detroit's east side. When they tried to pull him over, Dixon bailed out and tried to run. They caught him after a short foot chase. He got arrested and hit with 15 felony charges, including carjacking, 2 counts of armed robbery, receiving
armed
stolen
robbery,
property,
yeah.
and resisting police.
I
They
ain't
gave
gonna
this
lie. It was more than a simple carjacking. So if they would have caught that man, I ain't gonna lie to you, Mr. Sir. If they would have called that man, he probably would have got like 30 years, 15 felonies, carjacking, 2 armed robberies.
The
man.
whole ass package. The judge wasn't playing around either. He denied bond completely and kept Dixon locked up in Wayne County Jail. Turns out Dixon already had a criminal history. He'd done time for armed robbery before and had only gotten out of prison earlier that same year. So he'd been free for maybe a
You fucking, this nigga is stupid. Like, then they like these niggas like this, I don't think it'd be no help for these niggas. So you got caught for, you was already robbing people. You got caught for 1 or maybe 2 of the robberies. You went to prison, you got out, and the first thing you did was rob another motherfucker.
Weirdo.
a few months before he was right back in a cell, this time facing
Fucking
way
goofy.
more serious charges. Now here's the thing. A lot of people have mixed opinions regarding going to court in cases like a carjacking. You file the police report, sure, you of course tell the cops what happened, but actually going to court, sitting in front of the defendant and testifying against them in person is a whole different level of involvement. A lot of people would just say, nah, I'm good, and try to stay as far away from the whole situation as possible.
Right.
But Starkeisha wasn't like that. She decided she was going to do the right thing and show up to testify. On October 3rd, 2018,
tell
Starkeisha
me they
showed up
killed
to
her 'cause of
Dixon's
that.
preliminary examination at the courthouse and told the court exactly what happened that night.
Right.
She identified Dixon as the guy who carjacked them. She walked the prosecutor through the whole incident step by step, pulling into the gas station, the gun being pulled, being forced out of her car, and watching him drive away in it. But while all this was going on, Dixon wasn't just sitting there listening to testimony. He was paying attention to everything in those court documents. And somehow during this whole court process, he managed to get access to Starkeisha's home address. It was
What
right
the
there in
hell?
the paperwork. Victim information is supposed to be redacted
Why-
and protected,
right, why would
so
that be in
defendants
there?
can't find out where witnesses live.
The tragic murder of Starkeisha is a stark and brutal illustration of the desperate need for strict laws shielding victim and Why does the witness have to put their fucking address on there in the first place?
But Dixon got it anyway due to a failure of the court. Regardless of
Stupid.
however the info got in there, now he knew exactly where she lived.
Right. Y'all always ask me to show y'all exactly how to get rich on YouTube, so I made a full-blown course. It's not complete yet, but you can order it right now. There's 5 hours of content in it right now. It'll be like 12 or 15-hour full course once it's done. It'll be done by April 1st, all right? So click the link in the description, get your course, and start learning how to really get rich on YouTube. I'm not just no one-hit wonder type guy. No, I have more than 40 channels that make me hundreds of thousands of dollars all together, every single month. Like, I'm checking straight bags off of this, just sitting in my crib, recording, making videos. So if you want to learn exactly how I do it, I'm showing you how to clip farm, how to edit, how to upload, how to make thumbnails, how to develop your character, how to make shorts, how to make clips, right? I'm giving you every piece of every single type of strategy that you will ever need to get rich on YouTube. So click that link. It's not a super cheap course, but it ain't expensive. It's only $150. And if you use the code MACMULA, you could get 20% off of that $150. So go get you some money.
6 days later, October 9th, 2018, early in the morning, Starkeisha went through her normal routine. It was a Wednesday at around 8:05 in the morning. She dropped her son off at school like she always did, then went home and pulled into her driveway at her home on Collingham Drive, just off Cordell Street on Detroit's east side. She got out of the car, probably thinking about her day, and maybe what she needed to get done at work. But what she probably wasn't thinking about was the stranger stalking her every move nearby. Corey Holmes was a 39-year-old.
But see, the reason this shit is so stupid, and because this means that she already testified in court. So you killing her is not going to help your case. She already went to court. She already testified. She already sat in front of the judge and the prosecutors and the jury and said everything that happened. 9 times out of 10, if it was on a gas station, that means it was already on camera. She already testified. So what the fuck are you going? What are you killing her? What is that going to? Please explain to me what you plan for that to do.
Khan, who'd met Dixon when they were both locked up in prison years earlier. Holmes had been out for a while.
And this dumb motherfucker, they met in prison. Oh my God.
But he and Dixon stayed connected. And when Dixon needed someone willing to kill for him, Holmes was apparently that person. He'd been sitting there waiting for Starkeisha to come home. The moment she stepped out of her car, he walked right up to her in her own driveway and started shooting.
Damn.
Corey shot her an alarming 12 times, hitting her in the head and body. Damn. Witnesses later said they heard the gunfire echoing through the neighborhood that morning. Starkeisha didn't have a chance to run or defend herself.
That's crazy,
she died right there on the pavement, just a few steps from her front door. Her neighbors called 911, but by the time police and paramedics
already
arrived,
over 12 times.
Starkeisha's father, Curtis, was absolutely destroyed. He showed up to the crime scene that morning and told reporters that the police had pressured his daughter to testify against Dixon.
That's
Quote,
what they do. You think they give a fuck?
She didn't.
You think they care? You think they care? Police don't care. The police care about what they want to do. Always remember that shit. The police, the prosecutor, the jury. You know where I really learned a lot of that shit from? I learned a lot from the show Power. I watched Power, and I learned a lot. Like, them lawyers don't give no fuck about you and your life and your safety. All they want is a conviction, because the conviction ups their rank. And the higher rank they get, the more they get paid, the more promotions they get, and then they get enough statute, then they go start their own practice and they get rich as hell. The police don't care nothing about that. The police trying to up the ranks. All they want to do is get you to testify, so they don't have to do no police work. You see what I'm saying? They testify. They get you to testify, so their job is easier. They get an easier conviction. Whole time your life at risk, not them.
Want to testify because these guys were violent, he said. They carjacked her with a gun. He felt like the system had put his daughter in danger and then failed to protect her.
Failed to protect her, literally.
So overwhelming. Standing there on the other side of the police tape, watching investigators examine the spot where his daughter had just been murdered, that he literally collapsed. His heart couldn't take it. Detroit Police Chaplain Cedric Wyckoff had to rush over and resuscitate him right there at the scene. Later, Detroit Police Chief James Craig held a press conference and revealed something important. Before Starkeisha even testified, Dixon and his people had tried to pay her off. They'd reached out and offered her money to stay quiet and not show up to court. She refused multiple times. She wasn't doing it for money or recognition or anything like that. She just thought it was the right thing to do to put the man who robbed her behind bars and prevent him from robbing others. She had no idea that decision would get her killed. Dixon, however, wasn't alone in this. His girlfriend, 23-year-old Yolanda Streeter, had been helping him plan the whole thing. She was on the outside while Dixon was locked up, so she could move around freely and help coordinate everything. And once Starkeisha was dead,
your dumbass coordinating murders for your boyfriend who was just in prison. Just dumb as a box of fucking rocks and Captain Crunch, bro. I'm telling you.
Dixon, Streeter, and Holmes probably thought they'd pulled it off clean. They were dead wrong. The police knew exactly where to look. Dixon had the most obvious motive in the world.
Right.
Starkeisha had just testified against him 6 days ago, and now she was dead. It didn't take a genius to connect those dots. So
but it doesn't take a genius to understand if she already testified on you, then killing her is this. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't even make sense. It doesn't make sense. I'm not saying that killing a witness is the right thing to do or nothing like that. But if a criminal is in court and he's facing life in prison, and he has this one witness who, if this witness can't point him out, he walks free. Okay, logically, to me and my brain, connecting those dots, that makes sense to why he would want to kill her. But if the girl already testified on you, which means that the jury, the judge, the prosecutor, the lawyers, the court have already seen her testimony, that means your ass is getting locked up anyway. Why the fuck would you go kill this girl? Now she's dead. Now you got two more dumb motherfuckers who helped you kill her. They going to jail. And you still getting the time that you was going to get anyway, plus more, because she already fucking testified.
6 days ago, and now she was dead. It didn't take a genius to connect those dots. So detectives immediately started pulling Dixon's jail calls from Wayne County Jail.
And then I knew this was coming. I just knew this was coming. And then he orchestrated the whole shit on the jail call.
He'd been talking about.
Oh my
and
God,
this is where
bro.
people always mess up. Every single call you make from jail is recorded. There's an actual warning that plays before every call telling you that.
There's
but
a warning.
Dixon, being a goofy, still talked
Being
like
a
nobody
goofy?
was listening. Dixon, Streeter, and Holmes had been on the phone discussing everything. They talked about Starkeisha by name, discussed how to make sure she couldn't testify, and planned out what needed to happen and who was going to do it. Dixon coordinated everything from his jail cell, Streeter helped set things up on the outside, and Holmes was the one willing to actually pull the trigger. These goofies basically handed the prosecutors their entire case on a silver fucking platter.
Literally.
On October 17th, 2018, just 8 days after the murder, Detroit police arrested Streeter and Holmes. 2 days later, on October 19th, the Wayne County prosecutor charged all three of them, Dixon, Streeter, and Holmes, with first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, witness intimidation, and retaliating against a witness.
Stupid
Holmes got hit with extra charges for being a felon with a gun. In December 2018, Streeter did something straight out of a Tubi.
Ain't none of y'all getting out.
She was looking at life in prison, so she took a deal. She pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and agreed to testify against Dixon and Holmes as a witness, doing the very thing that had gotten them.
What the fuck did you think was gonna... This is my thing. These people are grown as hell. Grown as hell. The girl 23, these two niggas look 30-something. Grown as fuck.
In this ridiculous mess.
It's embarrassing,
in the first
bro.
place. In exchange,
And the girl
she'd
died
get
and she
11
can't
to
come back
25
for
years
nothing.
instead of life. She got
Crazy.
sentenced in 2019 and shipped off to prison. Dixon's trial finally happened in October 2022, 4
Life.
years after the murder. The delay was partly because of COVID shutting down courts, but also
Life.
partly because of how complicated the case was. His
Life.
carjacking case and the murder case got combined into one massive trial, so the jury
Life.
was hearing about everything at once. The
The fuck?
prosecutors played the jail recordings in court. You could hear Dixon's voice on tape discussing the murder, and of course, the jury heard the testimony against him. The evidence regarding the carjacking case that had started the whole thing, and his very, very, very obvious motives. The jury convicted him on everything. First-degree murder, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, witness intimidation,
Carjacking.
and witness retaliation. On November 10th, 2022,
Yeah,
the
I'm about
judge
to
sentenced
say.
him to life without
Ain't no other explanation but life. Ain't nothing else good but life, shorty. I ain't gonna lie. Really, nigga, if they was in the right state, I'd tell you to get his ass up out of here, but that's just me though.
parole on the murder charges, meaning he'd never be eligible for parole ever. Then the judge added 13 to 22.5 years for the witness intimidation
Dumbass.
charge
See
and
your
10
ass
to
later,
15
buddy.
years for the witness retaliation charge. Those sentences were concurrent, meaning they'd run at the same time as the life sentence. He also got convicted for the original carjacking and got another 29 to 50 years for that. It didn't matter though. Life without parole means life without parole. Dixon was never getting out. He'd die in
Exactly.
prison.
Exactly.
And all of this over a stupid Dodge Charger. Holmes went to trial a year later.
A
and
stupid ass Dodge Charger that what you do with. This is why I tell, like, listen to me, gang. I don't get on this shit and just talk. Committing crimes and being in the streets is, this man has gray hair in his beard. Okay? And he's still doing this dumbass shit. It's stupid and it's not worth it. You jack somebody's car. Okay, and then what? Let's see what the risk is. You jack somebody's car with a gun, that's carjacking, armed robbery, illegal carrying of a firearm by a felon. That's so much shit, right? So you already looking at 20, 30 years. That nigga Wallow did 20 years for 2 robberies and nobody got hurt. Okay? So you could potentially get 30 years in prison, or if you get away with it, you got a stolen Dodge Charger that you can't even drive anyway. That shit don't make no fucking sense. It's just stupid.
June 2023. He was the actual trigger man, the guy who physically walked
You know
up to
he got
Starkeisha
life.
in her driveway that morning and pulled the trigger 12 times while she was just trying to get into her house after dropping her son at school. The
Fucked
jury
up,
heard
bro.
all the same evidence, and the Wayne County jury convicted him of first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, and witness retaliation. On July 14th, 2023, the judge sentenced him to life in prison without the possibility of
Yeah, I'm
parole.
finna say, he
no
gonna get the
chance
same
of ever
thing.
getting out. Then
And the
judge added-
girl, honestly, the girl should. I hate situations like this because they let the girl off, and I hate that. It's like the girl always get off something. No, get that bitch life without parole too. She put the murder together, bro. You don't get 12 to 24 years for that, nigga. You get life. This little girl, this not little girl, this lady is gone for no reason because you carjacked her. That she ain't do nothing to y'all. She wasn't, her boyfriend wasn't in the streets. Nothing. It was no reason for none of this shit to go on other than the fact that y'all carjacked her and she snitched on you. And then you killed her after she already snitched on you. Nigga, what the fuck? That doesn't make any sense. Y'all got phone calls with this bitch, bro. Hang her ass on a silver platter too, nigga. Give her life. 55, 67 years. Don't let her get out in 12 to 20 something years. When she 23, she get out in what? When she 40 and go on with life? Hell no. Get her ass life, bro.
him to
I don't
life
be
in
liking
prison
that shit.
without the possibility of parole. No chance of ever getting out. Then the judge added another 6 to 10 years on top of that for the witness retaliation charge, and this one was consecutive, not concurrent. Meaning even after the life without parole sentence,
Still
he
gotta do 20
technically still
years.
owe those extra years. It's redundant, obviously, but it sent a message. Holmes would be a convict in life and death.
See your dumb ass never. Fuck to February.